What's up? Welcome back.
Hi. Yeah. Hi.
I
Nice to be back.
just yeah, I just checked. It's been almost 3 years that we talked,
Crazy.
and I believe I'm not sure, but I believe last time we talked was I think Pieces just got released. Could that be right?
I think it's the newest version of Pieces was released
Oh,
because
there's separate versions of it.
yeah, there's a lot of versions of it. It's the one with Vice and Leonie music.
Hmm.
Um, they did like a new, more poppy version, more radio version of it, and I
Hmm.
think it was the time when this was released because Pieces was originally released on 2019, and back then we didn't talk. That's
No, it was 2020 September. I noticed.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I just back then I put Pieces into my playlist because I really loved the song, and then few years later, I clicked on a song and noticed like, boom, millions of plays. And I was like, what the fuck happened there?
Yeah, it actually was going viral back. Actually, in the time that we spoke, it
Hmm.
started to get a lot of users on like TikTok and Instagram,
Hmm.
like the reels and all the TikTok videos. And I don't know why and what was like the start of this, but people were like starting using it. And actually, the Corona pandemic time was like a really successful time for me because
Yeah.
like other people made their reels with my songs, and it was really crazy.
But
It
you have
had
no idea how it happened, like no marketing plan or whatever.
no, I think someone started it and then they just liked it and kept going with it. And then if a song gets really well on TikTok on Instagram, they also push it, of course, if they see okay, the song is going pretty good. Then
Mhm.
also my label sees okay, we need to support it a little bit more, and they talk to the TikTok guys and Instagram guys, and then they pushed it a bit more.
Yeah.
And but there was not like the start of like okay, we invest in some campaigns for you to get this. It was just randomly it started, and it was really nice.
Crazy. Crazy. So tell me a bit more about what happened ever since then, because I can imagine quite a lot has changed during the past few years.
um I mean, yeah, the a lot of changes in the studio. If we change to the other interview, I had like a different wall type and I have my logo now written on
Yeah.
there.
Different
And
haircut.
one of the more beautiful changes is I got some
Nice. Golden
blacks
records.
there, some gold ones and some platinum ones, and there's like the big one from Germany. There's like a big German golden plaque,
How
and
much plays do you need to get like one of those plaques?
in Germany, 30 million
On radio or Spotify or
Spotify, like combined streams.
combined? And
Combined.
what's like the current state of the amount of streams?
In Germany,
Yeah,
or like the song.
in total
The total of the song, I think it's over 200.
200 million.
I think Pieces got like over 200 million streams right now.
Holy shit!
And with all the audio snippet streams like from TikTok and Instagram, like if you include these two, I think it almost 600 million or 700 million.
Pooh, holy shit! So that's all because of the fact that TikTok entered the game.
Um, I wouldn't say it like that. I think the song was going pretty good without all these videos. It
Yeah.
has like a good amount of streams before that,
Hmm.
but it actually started on the Instagram Reels and then
Ah.
also on TikTok because the people also uploaded the videos on TikTok too.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, but it played like a huge role in the situation, but also a lot of like playlist support, and also the label did a lot of things to push it more,
Yeah.
and also the label selected they have like a playlist with deep house,
Hmm.
and they're like really huge playlist. I think right now they're at 3 million followers on the playlist, so pretty
Hmm.
huge, and they also pushed it there too, and they run like a campaign with the song in I think it was yeah I think it was Pieces, and I watched someone sent me the commercial where they put Pieces onto the commercial for the playlist, and I was writing to them, yeah, it's I mean thank you for using it, but it's funny because people listen to the commercial and go to the playlist and the song isn't in the playlist. They'll be like, yeah, that's a mistake, we should fix that, and then they put it back in, and it had also like a huge impact. They have like a really nice playlist.
Nice. So what happened with your career afterwards? Like, is there anything significant you could point out and say, like, okay, this definitely came because of the fact that I had like a hit record?
Um, it's not like the crazy impact that people would maybe think of. It's
Hmm.
not like that my life changed like completely. I mean, yes, it did, in a positive way. I think you get like also more attention on like your social media and more attention on your other songs because people like the song and be like, okay, what does this guy also do? And they listen to your other songs too. So you have like a whole increase of your listeners.
Hmm.
I think back then when we talked, I had like 1 million monthly listeners. Now it's like 4. So that's a change. Um, I guess more bookings.
Hmm.
People, you get like more bookings because you can like discuss it better and be like, yeah, I got a hit record, so
Yeah.
maybe
Do
people
you,
want
do
to
you
listen
have like an
to it.
agency now or someone taking
Yeah,
care of? Okay.
yeah. I got like an agency now who care for like the booking stuff, and it works pretty good. And we actually are now planning to like expand it more and do like more live things to the live set, not just like a DJ set, like more of
Hmm.
a actual live set.
Hmm.
I want to throw my synthesizers onto the stage and be like doing some actual live shows, and I want to like arrange the songs to a new level. So every time I play, the people heard a song for the first time and the only time, and
Yeah.
that's like the special thing about it. And I also got this Fred Again inspired Machine Plus.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, because I actually did this thing. I did my jam sessions. That's like my social media thing. When I made a song or like a new song is coming out, I go into my studio and film like this jam sessions. I call it jam sessions,
Hmm.
where like just film the process of how I made the song. And back then, I always used. I have like a MIDI controller, and the MIDI controller also has like this drum pads on, and I always used it in my videos like 5 years ago.
Hmm.
And when I bought this and used it in like a TikTok or something, people would be like, "Yeah, everybody buy doing this now because of Fred again." But I actually did it before,
Yeah.
and that's a huge point.
Yeah. People can check it out in your previous
Yeah, I,
content.
I I sent them the video and be like, "I did this 5 years ago, man. So
Yeah,
please,
exactly. Yeah.
please shut up."
But that's actually one of the things I want to talk about as well. Like I have a couple of I kind of changed the way of how to do these conversations because I and now I have prepared some questions
Hmm.
because what I think is most important is I think it's important for people to know a bit more about how things work with you on the inside, as in what did you encounter, how did you deal with it, was it hard, was it not hard, like those type of things. And one
Hmm.
of the things that a lot of artists struggle with is authenticity.
Hmm.
And what I really like about you is you have a really authentic sound. If
Thank you.
I listen to a certain song, I can easily point out an Avaion sound.
Thank you.
And my question to you was, what does authenticity mean to you as an artist, and how do you ensure that you stay true to yourself in your
Mhm.
creative work?
Um, I think it's like the most important thing for me to keep like this. Actually, what you said, it's like the goal when I started to be like, okay, I make a song, and people be like, yeah, I know it. It's his style because I listen to it and I recognize it, and it always played a huge role in
Hmm.
my whole process of being like an artist. And of course, when I started, I always had like this role models where I like try to like copy the sounds of it. When I first started with like this electronic music, like my first role model was Chami,
Hmm.
with like it was the like a big time with like Future House and all that
Yeah,
stuff
exactly. Yeah.
because he was like the father, like the godfather of Future House, and I was so catched and hooked by the sounds that he made, like this more vibey, melancholic, but also uplifting sounds. And I think that switched like a flip in me, where like, okay, I want to do the sound design. It's so good, and that was the time when I tried to like understand sound design and how to do it and also create your own out of it. And I think I switched so many genres because when I first started, I came from like the dubstep and rhythm scene with drum and bass stuff, like the super hard stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I also take parts of this style and this genre and this genre, and try to like learn a lot of genres and sound design from different type of styles and try to combine it into like my own style.
Yeah.
And I think the most important feature about this is that I also put my own voice on my recordings.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like one more intimate part that not every other artist will or can put on their sound. So that's like the whole combination that makes my sound like special, I think.
Yeah, so
And
it's like a combination of years of practicing with different genres and
yeah,
including something organic, which is literally you.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I think that's
wh-
like the source behind it, like
yeah,
the special treatment.
yeah,
Because you can, I think a lot of people don't understand how important like a really emotional and good vocal on an emotional track is, especially like in the EDM scene. The vocal is just also an instrument that they just put on and it'd be like, okay, it's fine, it's good. Um, I mean, yes, okay. The because I really like the idea of like instruments and synthesizers being like the main thing in the song and not the vocal, because like in pop genres and stuff, it's just the vocal who makes the song, or like rap or something.
mm-hmm,
But in EDM, the instrumental is mostly like more important. I think it changes now because right now it's like more the vocal type of stuff.
mm-hmm,
Um, I was not always a fan of like doing my own vocals on it, but I think it's like an more intimate part that I can put on a song and also like convert these feelings into the song, into the people.
yeah,
And I always try to like have an open end to my song so nobody listens to it and feel the same. I like it that every listener has like a different connection to the song. And that's also like one of the parts that I really like when people write me, okay, I met my boyfriend to the song and it's our song, it's like our love song. And for other
yeah,
people it's like a breakup song. For other people it's like they lost someone and it helps them. And that's also what I like when people have like their own story to the song, and
mm-hmm,
that's why I always leave so much room for interpretation to the song
yeah,
and not like keep the lyrics too straight to the face.
yeah, exactly. So being authentic is as an artist, you've managed to figure that out by just experimenting a lot and finally finding something that results into you.
Yeah, I think when I started doing all of this, I always had in my mind to be like, um, I think like a really like changing part was when I, because I had like Charmy as a role model, I always typed in on YouTube like Charmy style sounds or something like this, or
Mm-hmm.
like any type of role model type sounds. And I was sitting there and thinking like, would it be cool if like someone put like Avaion style synths, Avaion style, I don't know, whatever. And there was like the flipping switch where I was like, okay, I need to do my own thing to like, so it becomes something real. And people try this and maybe like stop trying it because it's a lot harder and it's a more slow process. Because if you like get your own style, your own genre type of thing, and your own like thing out in the world, it's a slow process because people need time to understand it and also
Mm-hmm.
like it. If you like follow a trend and do like a super viral vocal and remix it to a new song, and then people, it will blow up really fast and you get like more recognition really fast. But I think people don't care who made the song. They love it, they listen to it, you get a lot of streams,
Yeah.
but I think they don't care who you are. But if you like make your own style, your own artistic being, it's a slow process because people need time to see it and to understand it. But when you made it, you made it.
Yeah,
You know what I
because
mean?
like yeah, exactly. Like just for people to realize how much time have you been working until this hit happened.
Yeah, and that's also what people maybe don't see. They only just see the, okay, it's there and you always had it, and they don't see like the 12 years before just sitting there in your room and doing your
Yeah.
own thing, you know?
Do you have been working 12 years until you've had your first hit record?
Um, I think I started producing 12 years ago,
Yeah.
and Pieces released on 2019. So I guess like 8, 9 years,
Yeah,
something like
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
And I released on SoundCloud for like years and years, like
Yeah.
years. It's not because a lot of people told me, yeah, I'm a fan since Pieces, like your first song. It's
It's
bro,
like, dude.
dude, it's not my first song. It's like my 250 song.
Yeah.
But
The first one you noticed. That's the only
yeah, the
one.
first one you noticed. But I mean, I appreciate it anyway. So it's all
Yeah, I
good.
can imagine.
Yeah.
Thinking about like the creative process, like I can imagine that during the process and during those 8 or 9 years, there's been a lot of insecurity as well and self-doubt in creating
Yeah.
your music.
Still, it's still going.
Still
Still there.
going, I can
Still
imagine,
there.
especially when you have a hit record. One
Yeah,
of the
and you
things you
always have
see,
the pressure.
exactly what you see with other artists as well, like an insecurity comes up. You might start believing that you're not able to pull this off again, or that you've been lucky or whatever.
Yeah.
um, so how do you handle those feelings of insecurity and self-doubt?
I don't know, man. It's still a process that I'm in.
Hmm.
Um, I started caring about like all this type of mental health stuff a lot in the last 2 years,
Hmm.
especially in the last month, and
is
it
it
really
because
helped me.
is it because you needed it, or?
I would say yes. I think I needed it because I always like struggled with like anxiety stuff,
Hmm.
and it was getting worse um, with the pressure. And if there's like a lot of pressure, I felt terrible, um, but also motivated. That's like a paradox because I can work under pressure and I like the pressure,
Hmm.
but just the pressure from outside, not the pressure from inside. And the pressure from inside is a different thing because it's like the self doubt and like your inner voice who's talking to you. And this one shouldn't pressure you. The pressure from outside is okay. If the label says, "Yeah, we have a deadline for the song, maybe 2 days," and you're like, "Okay, I'm good. I'm gonna do this in 2 days." That's like a good pressure, and I kind of like it. But the pressure from inside is like a different type of stuff, and I still deal with this, especially when you have like a hit song. The pressure like in yourself gets like super high,
Hmm.
um, but you also learn how to deal with it if you understand that the pressure inside can also be something good because you start to improve more.
Hmm.
I think if I would be like totally happy with what I have right now and be like, okay, my sound is perfect now. I'm the best. It's okay. I think I wouldn't improve. So that's also
Yeah.
like a good point to have like this little doubting in yourself to be
Hmm.
like, okay, I want to improve. I want to get better. Um, and for the last months, it really really improved because I just started to learn so much new things about sound design and to improve my sound and like my mixing and the cleanness of my song more.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy it because it feels good to sit in your studio and you have like a new project laying around that's like really really clean and crispy and like it sounds expensive. You know what I mean? Like this
Hmm.
expensive sound.
Yeah.
And it's a good feeling, but it's like a good and a bad thing at the same time.
So you
There's
can you kind
like
of
a good
take
balance.
you kind of take your insecurity and self-doubt and twist it into a motivator.
Yeah, bro. Sorry. Just my friends there. Sorry.
No worries.
Sorry. What did you ask?
So you kind of take your insecurity and self-doubt and
Yeah.
turn it into a motivational aspect instead of a negative thing.
Yeah, and I think it's really easy to say it like that.
Hmm.
It's like a really hard like yeah, it's like a path that you should go, and it's like training, a lot of
Yeah.
training. And I think for the people outside, for all the producers, a lot of producers know this, that like the mental health, like meditation thing, and all that stuff is like really important.
Hmm.
But you will get it um, the first time when you're like in a point of your life where you'll be like, okay, what should I do now? And then only if you're like really low you can start like thinking about what can I make better. And that's what I when I started like doing all this breathing type of things and meditation type of things, and it really helped me to like be in peace with myself and
Hmm.
don't and try to understand what this like inner voice is telling me, because it's not like a bad friend, it's a good friend.
Hmm.
It just tells you to be better, and so you get better and you
Yeah.
do more. So it's kind of like a good thing, but you can also like misunderstand it into something bad, and then it's not good.
Yeah, because your inner voice is not necessarily you. That's also
Yeah,
come.
that's the
Also,
that's a big point. Yeah,
yeah, it's also something really important to realize,
yeah,
because that voice is not you. It's just
yeah,
like a voice telling you
yeah,
stuff, and it's up to you to decide what you act on and what you don't.
yeah,
Is that
yeah.
something you've learned as well over the past months?
Yeah, and I have a really funny story because on the song "Broken" that I made, I used this like bad inner voice to write the song.
Hmm.
And I when I had like some crazy thoughts with like this bad voice, I wrote it down on my phone and I made like actually like a song out of it. And that's funny because it feels like someone else wrote it for me. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's like a second personality
Yeah,
almost.
it's like I don't know. Should I like put it in the credits? I don't know.
Yeah, like
Is
create
it
a,
really
yeah,
me who wrote the song, or is it like should I
yeah,
put some other credits? Like I should call him Christopher, like my real name.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
um, a lot of producers would call themselves a perfectionist. Is that something how you would describe yourself as well?
Yeah, I guess so. And it's also like sometimes a good thing, sometimes a bad thing. Because if you really want to finish a lot of songs, it's a bad thing because you're never happy with the song. But also a good thing because you improve more, so your songs get better. So it's
And
like
how did you manage to control your inner perfectionist in the moments of, as you mentioned, like a song's never finished? Like, how did you manage to break that pattern?
um I mean, there's. I think also every producer knows this. If you like do a song in the night in the studio and you come back on the next day, it always sounds trashy. And I try to like hear it as much as I can on the same night. I mean, if I'm in the studio, made the song, I drive back home, and the drive back home is like 20 minutes, and I
Hmm.
listen to the song in this 20 minutes at the same night for like 50 times, and if I still like it on the same night, I know on the next day it will be just perfect. And it's also a good thing because on the ride back home, when I listen to it so many times, I notice a lot of things that I want to change on the next day. So I'll
Hmm.
write it down and be like, okay, on the next day, I want to do the vocal chop a little bit more early or later, or keep it out or keep it in. I don't know.
Hmm.
And this really helped me to because you have the same ears, like in the same night where you actually liked it because a lot of people just close the laptop, don't listen to it again, and just on the next day and with like fresh ears. And it's also good because you have like this fresh ears, but it's not good for the like perfectionist because you always find something that you don't like, or maybe even like the whole thing. You don't like the whole thing anymore, and that's maybe a bad thing because then you just never release it or never finish it because you're not motivated enough to finish it.
Yeah.
And I find out when I do this type of things on the same night, I keep the connection to the song more closer, so it's more better, you know?
Yeah, it actually makes a lot of sense. As in, I've never heard someone really do it like this, but it does make sense to me that it's a good way of kind of checking in with yourself. Like, is this something good? Yes or no?
Yeah,
Because you're still like close to the song at that point.
yeah. Maybe
And
something like this would help. People try it out. Try it out.
yeah,
Maybe it
exactly.
helps. Maybe not. I don't know. It works for me, I guess.
Do,
N-
do you work a lot at night or?
Kind of, yeah, but not like too late because I get really tired pretty
Mhm.
fast. I'm not like the super night owl thing to work like the whole night through and just sleep at the day. I like this like normal schedule,
Yeah,
like normal sleep schedule. It's like better for my mental health. I don't know.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's I can totally agree with that. As keep doing that for as long as you can. Even when you start touring, like try to
Yeah,
get.
I like this. It feels better to like wake up when other people wake up and go to sleep when all these other people go to sleep.
Yeah,
Um, it just feels better for my mental health.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
In your career, um, there must have been some new challenges, or trying something new, like trying something outside of your comfort zone. Have you encountered something in the past few months which was really outside of your comfort zone?
Um, I guess bookings that are like more far away than just like in my country or like area. I had like a show in Switzerland. It's not that far away from where I live. It's not like that bad to like a 15-hour plane ride or something. It's okay. It was like a car ride. I still drove there by car, but it was like 9 hours or something.
Mhm.
And just going through the mountains, through like these tunnels and stuff. And I also don't like tunnels. I'm actually a bit afraid of tunnels because it's like so claustrophobic,
Yeah.
like kind of. And the whole ride to Switzerland was like just tunnels, like just just freaking tunnels. It was crazy,
Yeah.
and I mastered it pretty easy. And I was like so proud of me. That it was like just like, yeah, I did this. It's no problem at all.
And how did you overcome it?
I don't know. I think the like because I'm taking like all this meditation thing really serious for the last weeks and months, and I never tried it in my out of comfort zone
Mhm.
situations. And
Mhm.
then I tried it for the first time in like this tunnels where I was like, okay, I'm good. Nothing can happen to me in here,
Yeah.
and it really helped actually.
And was that like a mental process, as in you started kind of having a conversation with yourself? Is that how I should
Um,
imagine it, or?
Actually, no. It's like you have this conversation with yourself, but you distance from it. You just
Mhm.
watch it from a distance, and that's like the whole meditation thing. That's all about it. You just distance yourself from like this feeling in your head when you start getting like this anxiety vibe and
Mhm.
all these voices in your head. You just get like a distance view from it and just watch it, and
It's
that's
just
like
like a third party.
yeah, you just go into third party mode. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It's weird,
and
right? How you zoom out and see your own, like,
yeah,
check
it
your
really
own
helps.
behavior. Yeah,
It really helped
definitely.
because you feel like so out of control in the situation. And that's
Mhm.
also funny because I the only fear that I have is like not having control, like this control anxiety. And
Mhm.
in this tunnel I feel like, okay, I couldn't go out of here if I want to. And that's
Mhm.
where I start to get like nervous and stuff. And in my mind I just distance from the situation and be like, okay, this tunnel is going to end. It will end. It's a
Yeah,
fact.
exactly.
And if I just concentrate on something else or just watch me having like this conversation with myself, time will pass and it will be all good. And that was like the solution of it. I don't know. I will
Yeah.
try it in different situations and tell you if it actually helped me.
No, but it's good that you've learned yourself this way of dealing with it. As in,
Yeah.
I think one of the things that most of the people of our age don't really know, well, at least a lot of people in the world don't know, is that
Mhm.
how your brains work and how your thoughts work, and how you can channel those things, and how your body responds to your thoughts. Because
Mhm.
once you start thinking that you're going to die in that tunnel, your body's going to respond
Yeah.
by getting a panic attack, like getting
Yeah.
high breathing and
Yeah.
heart rate and those type of things. But you can solve those things by starting in your thoughts,
Yeah.
and
That's
channeling what you think and how you
really
think.
powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, super super helpful. And you mentioned that you're a pretty control freak. Um,
Yeah. I really like it when I have like the control of the situation.
yeah.
Mm. It's
So
it's
so so how does that work when, like, now you get bigger, your team gets bigger? I can imagine you have other people, like your booker, for example, working for you.
Mhm.
That's kind of giving people control over your business.
Um, I have no problem with it when it's like business related.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like it to have like more people into it that like can help me with different stuff, and I'm super into this and super open for this. It's more like situational things, like with me, like physically,
Mm-hmm.
to like cars, planes, um, I don't know, trains. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, okay. So the environment's really important to you.
Yeah, yeah, like a situation where I have like the full control. If I also like elevators, I'm not afraid of like small rooms. I'm not like claustrophobic. It's just like I'm in the elevator, and if I want to go out like now, I can't because I need to wait until it's in the floor that I want to go. And
Yeah.
that it's weird. It's super weird. I don't freaking know what happened there, but yeah, I
Okay.
guess I can deal with it pretty good. So
Interesting. And is there also like, do you also experience some stress in your career at this point?
yes, I would say almost every day. um,
Okay.
but I mean, just stress with myself. It's not like this outside stress. I
Hmm.
mean, yes, I mean, there's like I'm working on an EP right now, and there's like nobody from the outside world tells me to, okay, you need to finish 3 songs the next week. Like nobody tells me that, but my inner voice tells me that.
Yeah.
And so I get like this pressure if I'm on my phone and I slide into like TikTok or Instagram and scroll through videos and I watch it and like after 10 minutes I'll be like, yo, what am I doing right now? It's like
Hmm.
it's just the pressure in my own head. It's not the outside pressure that I can't deal with. It's
Hmm.
just the inner pressure.
And how do you manage the stress that you get from that in a project or pursuing a goal?
I try to use my time more wisely and choose to like improve a lot in like different areas, like also like with my instruments I started playing the piano more often and doing more like actual musical stuff, and also more songwriting, more like technical stuff with like sound design and mixing techniques and all that stuff. Try to learn more about it. If I'm on the phone and watch TikToks, I don't want watch like some random stuff. I try to watch some sound design tips. You know what I mean?
Educational
So
stuff.
it's like an yeah, like educational stuff, and that helped me really to like calm it a bit more and also relax, but also educate at the same time.
Yeah, so you get less stressed.
Yeah, yeah. It's and also sport. I started with like fitness stuff,
Hmm.
just going to the gym in
Hmm.
the morning, and it really helps. It actually really helps. Like everybody says that, and but it actually helps. So
Yeah, there's a
it's quite,
reason why everyone says that.
yeah. I'm always like this, and yeah, everybody says it, but it actually helps. Yeah, it's there's a reason behind that.
Oh, okay, that's good to hear.
Yeah,
Um, I noticed on your Instagram account that your amount of followers also increased with the amount of listeners that you've gained on Spotify. I think you've crossed 100,000 followers now on Instagram.
yeah, yeah.
How much are you on TikTok?
I think 85 or something like this.
85. Okay, so there's, and I also noticed that it's that the audience is super engaging. A lot of people respond to your content and engage with you or with your brand. But
Mhm.
I can also realize that every now and then there's a negative comment in there. How do you cope with those things? Like I noticed there's like tens, maybe even hundreds of positive comments on certain videos.
Mhm.
But there must be one or two negative ones as well. Do you read those things? How do you deal with it?
Mm, I don't know. I never had like this crazy hating type of vibe where like people actually write some super bad stuff.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, the only thing is what I also mentioned. If I do like a TikTok and you use some parts that someone else used before, they'd be like, "Yeah, it's you copied something," or it's stuff like that. But I don't really get like attention to it because people don't know and they're like not that much into all this stuff, so they just see like the overview of the whole situation. They see, okay, it's the same thing as someone else used, so it must be copied.
Yeah.
I don't
So
keep
you,
attention to them, so it's all good.
yeah, so you're kind of putting things in perspective and kind of stand above it and say like, I know better than they do. So yeah,
Yeah, and if someone writes, "Yeah, I don't like the vocal and like do it like this, it would sound better," I actually try it and be like, "Yeah, maybe he's right. I don't know."
yeah. Well,
But like this super dumb hate comments, I'm blessed with that because there's like no one who's like super hateful and shitty talking. That's really nice.
yeah. And do you ever catch yourself overthinking something in your career?
Mm, I don't know. I think it's also the pressure to be like that's also like a problem if you have like a song that goes really good and has like over in this case like over 200 million streams. um, you always want to reach that level again with a
Hmm.
song or maybe like even pass it and
Hmm.
make a new type of thing, and it's a pressure with yourself when you release a song and you'll be like, okay, hopefully this one gets the attention that it deserves and all that stuff. But I don't think never in a bad way. I mean, there's a lot of overthinking all the time,
But do
but
you overthink like the creative process? Like maybe I should use the same melody or the same synth or the same.
yeah, I had this phase where it was like, okay, maybe I should go more into this if people like it. But I also enjoy to just play around a lot with sounds and
Mhm.
change a lot. And I think it's not bad to also put some songs out there like a bit more similar, and also put some songs out that are like more creative, experimental,
Mhm.
because you will catch a lot of new listeners with a new style because they just discover you throughout the new style, and you also please the old listeners who will enjoy the
Yeah.
sound that you put out. So it's
Oh,
a
but
good
it's good.
mixture between that.
Yeah, but it's good that you do that because I think that's a big pitfall once you become successful is to kind of box yourself into this is the way how I should do it from now on, and you
Mm,
start limiting yourself
yeah,
from creations.
yeah, and that's I think that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by overcoming that you need to overcome your fear of not being liked by your current fans or new fans or
Maybe, yeah, maybe you put something new out and they tell, okay, that's not the sound that you usually bring out. I don't like it.
yeah.
Um, could happen, but you also get like new listeners that just discover you throughout this type of style. So it's
True.
a it's a 50-50 situation, but I think it's a good thing.
Do you think about your current fan base a lot in your process of making music?
Um, I mean, yes, but it's always just the vibe that I'm feeling.
Hmm.
Um, and actually not that much of overthinking. I just sit there, make some chords, put some new sounds in, try my new mixing techniques and new sound design techniques. And if I like it, I like it. And if I don't, then I don't. Um, but it's always like the process of like starting this idea, sending it to like my management or like A&R from the label, and then they be like the reaction of them is also like a big part. If they be like, okay, bro, that's crazy, that's always like a good thing. And if they say, yeah, it's nice, good one, then it's like, oh, okay, maybe
Well,
it needs some more work. um,
so opinion is super important to you.
Yeah, and the actually most important thing is then actually the fans, because when I do the jam sessions, and
Mhm.
that's also a thing why I do these jam sessions, is because I release a snippet of the song before the song comes out. So I release it, and the interaction of the people and what they write and how many like interaction it gets in total is like a really really important thing for me to understand if they will like it or not.
Yeah.
Because if I like upload a jam session and it gets like tons of comments and people share it and they go crazy over it, I know when I bring the song out, they will like it.
So it's like a focus group, a test group.
Yeah, it's like testing, but also yeah, it really boosts my motivation. If I put this out and people go crazy on the jam session, it's like a huge motivation to like also like keep going with more of that style. Also to getting motivated for the release, for the
Mhm.
pre-release phase, the after-release phase, and all that stuff. So it's a win-win, I think.
Yeah, it's a good way to measure what the outcome is going to be.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned that you've been working on your mental health for the past months. Are there any particular books or resources that have really helped you in your journey?
Yeah, there's this guy called Wim Hof,
Dutch guy.
the Iceman, Wim Hof, yeah, and he's really, really crazy good. He's like it's like extraordinary, superhuman
Hmm.
good, because he does this for the people who don't know. He's also called the Iceman, and for a reason, um, because he invented the Wim Hof method, and is it's like his technique of like doing like a meditation routine with breathing exercises and
Hmm.
also like cold plunges, like really really cold plunges. And I tried it. I watched the YouTube videos that, because some influencers were like going to his house and they tried the Wim Hof method, and I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, that I mean, I like cold water. Maybe I should try it. And the breathing exercises is like the more important thing because they kick in so hard. It's like really, really crazy. You can just type on YouTube Wim Hof
Yeah.
breathing technique, and they show you in like all languages. He does it with like, I don't know, 8 or 9 languages, and you can just like listen to him do it like the way he does, and it's crazy. It's like super. It just hits. It just hits in the face.
He
And if you
also
do
has an
this, and
app.
after that, like a really cold shower, that's crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing what that can do.
Yeah, it's really, really crazy.
Yeah.
And if you also go for a walk after this and then come back from the walk and do like a 10 minutes meditation, just sitting there, concentrate on your breathing, you're going to be a whole new person in like 3 months.
So that's your
Crazy.
main resource of improving your mental health at this point.
Yes, and also Headspace,
Oh yeah, the app.
the Headspace app. Yeah, they're really good because they teach you like this basic meditation techniques. And if you know the basics, you can actually improve really good. Just
Okay.
focusing on your breathing and just be like present, it's like really, really crazy powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to other artists who may be struggling with their mental health in their creative passion?
um Going more as like in my case, it's like going more out of your comfort zone, but not like in this like big step, like in super, super small steps. Even if you're like sitting in your room on your laptop and you maybe watching this and you don't usually go for a walk, try it. Go for like a little walk, then come back home and maybe try the cold shower or maybe the Wim Hof breathing method. Um, I think just like the small steps of trying stuff out of your comfort zone is
Mhm.
the actual solution. And that's also something I think everybody who deals with it says, but it also has a reason behind it because it actually works.
Yeah.
Um,
You need to get out of your comfort zone in order to grow in life.
Yeah,
And
because it's like also like with social anxiety, try to go into like a bakery shop, grab something there, go into the city, just walk around the city where like a lot of people is, go back home and you will feel better. Even it's like slightly better, but you will feel better.
yeah,
And if you do this like every day, you will catch yourself staying in the like in the city, maybe around people, and don't even think about that you're like in the city with people
yeah,
because you're just so used to it, and it's like you don't even care about it, and that's where the grow begins.
yeah. So just doing a lot of things that kind of scare you.
Yeah, but not like this big steps where like, okay, I have this super, super fear of, I don't know, flying. You don't book a flight tomorrow and go for a flight because I think you're not mentally ready and you will get a panic attack, and then you're like, you will never fly again in your life. I think you should like start small, with like small things and get to a level where you
Yeah,
don't even think that bad about doing the most fearful thing.
yeah, exactly.
So
Like
like in small
teach
steps.
yourself in small steps instead of taking the long ones.
Yeah, because a lot of people tells you, okay, you overcome a fear if you face it, and I think it's right, yes. But in my case, like with the tunnels, um, if there was like a tunnel that's like 20 kilometers long, and I was in there for like 50 minutes or something, I would have just cried with panic attacks. But all the tunnels that I was like going when I was driving to Switzerland, they were like super small tunnels and they just grew
Hmm.
every time, and so I could like get used to it. And
Hmm.
the last one was like, I think I was like 25 minutes in there, and normally I would like just freak out, and it was chilled because I was like, yeah, I just did 5 tunnels and it was easy,
Yeah,
so why should there be a problem here?
yeah.
And I
You
would,
kind of
if I would have started with the big one first, I don't think I would have handled it the way I.
yeah. You've built your self confidence, so now
Yeah,
you trust
but you know what
yourself.
I mean, and that's the whole process. If you just the small steps, and then you get used to it, and then you just uh, build up your
Yeah,
like yourself. I don't know, yeah.
yeah. Cool. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to do this again. And I must say, I'm really how do you say it? Like I'm super happy for you that to see that you've grown so hard and so quickly. And I know how much of a struggle it can be to work on something for 9 years,
Mm,
and then suddenly you get that kind of success. Well, not suddenly, you've been working for 9 years, but that's how people might experience it.
yeah,
But it's also the reason why I wanted to catch up with you is to see like how did you experience this period, and how are you dealing with it, because there's a lot of things coming up on the road,
Mm.
and it puts things in motion in your career, but also with you as a person. So it's good to keep monitoring that and to stay on top of that.
Yes.
And yeah, thanks for sharing your knowledge with all the other artists listening now. Hopefully, it's useful to them and they start breathing, doing the Wim Hof method from now
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, it's a cool thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's check in another 2 years and see how things are going from then. Okay.
Yeah. See you in 2 years. Yes.